Hey there, I'm Dan Tudor. Welcome to another week of video training for Selling for Coaches Premium members. We're taking a little bit of time out this weekend here, the weekend of December 12th, because we are actually in the middle of our conference here in Bakersfield on building a winning recruiting message. Have a lot of great coaches in town for this weekend. If you weren't able to make it here, watch the calendar for the new year 2009. We have a whole host of conferences and locations ready to go, and we'll be talking to you about that real soon. We're in the middle of discussing with you that first phone call that you make, and don't you wish you could be that guy, happy, carefree, picking up the phone and talking like a pro? Well, that's what today is all about. Most of you don't feel like this guy when you pick up the phone and talk for the first time with an athlete. So we're going to continue our conversation from last week's training and get into some more specifics. When it comes to calling on the phone, first thing I'll say today is that you want to be a coach that offers help. Here's what I mean by that, coach. You have to be the one that is willing to guide them through the process and help them with their questions. That's probably the most important thing you can do. And if you don't have great facilities, if you don't have a lot of scholarship money to offer, this one thing can set you apart from other coaches who don't take time to do this. What I mean by offering help is helping them with the forms they have to fill out, reminding them about dates, offering help maybe that's outside of your job description or department, walking something over to admissions. Whatever it is, this process is really complicated, confusing, and a little frustrating for most prospects. You can be the coach that offers them help so that they aren't as frustrated. And if you're the coach that's doing that on the phone, you're going to sound different and be different than most other coaches who are only concerned with filling that 15, 20, or 30 minutes with a bunch of sales points or lame questions. You aren't going to ask those. You should also be a coach that offers help, to be the one that reaches out their hand and says, here, let me guide you through this process. That could be a huge, huge help in this whole process. Second thing is, the flip side of this, ask for help. Here's what I mean by that. When you're asking for help, you might need something from them. You might need a DVD highlight reel so that you can review their qualifications on the field or on the court. You might need a transcript from them. You might need them to send something over to admissions. You have a chance here to ask them to do something that gets them engaged with you, that takes it past just listening to a phone call to now actually taking action. And when they're forced to take action for you, now they're engaged. It goes past that one phone call and goes into the future, maybe a day or two later, with them still thinking about what they need to do for you. It's a really important point. It's very simple to do. It costs you nothing, so it fits into everybody's recruiting budget. Ask them to do something for you. Ask for help. Next thing is make sure what you're saying to them is important to them. What do I mean by that? Well, coach, your phone call to them shouldn't be all about you and your university and the bullet points and selling points that you want to get across to them. There can be a little bit of that in the phone call. But this should be saying stuff that is important to them. Okay, so what is important to them? Well, you might be talking to them about the deadline they need to meet so that you can get them that extra scholarship money. You might be talking to them about a chance to come visit the campus during your big recruiting weekend so that you can place them with all the other top recruits and get a chance for them to get to know the other recruits and you to look at them compared to the other recruits. Little things like that. That makes it about them. Now it's not about you, it's about them. And that's important. You don't want to do a lot of selling over the phone yet. They're not ready for it. You don't want to do it, so don't do it. Make it all about them. Asking them great power questions that we've reviewed in the last month or so, that's a great way to carry on a phone conversation. Bad phone conversations involve a lot of selling. When you're going down the list and selling yourself, don't do that. Make sure that what you're talking to them about, what you're saying, is important to them, things that would matter to them. Next thing is, you've heard me say this before, ask for the sale. But that doesn't necessarily mean ask for their commitment right there on the phone, because this might be the first phone call you're making, and that wouldn't seem to be something that you'd want to do. The sale, in this case, might be the next phone call or getting them to come to campus. Whatever your goal or objective was on this phone call, and you should have one for each phone call, make sure you reach it. So, for instance, Coach, if that is getting them to turn in an online application, going to the website, filling that out, and doing it by a certain time, that might be asking for the sale. That sale is getting them to fill out the online application. Or it might be getting them to commit to a specific weekend to come visit the campus. Whatever it is, you need to have that goal and you need to make sure before the phone call ends that you have reached that objective. You have made that sale. You've got them to commit to whatever the next thing is on your list. And sometimes, eventually, in fact, it's going to be, are you ready to commit to our program? You're perfect for us. We want you here. Would you be ready to commit? Maybe not on the first call, but still, focus on something that you can sell, an objective to reach, a goal to meet for that one phone call. You know, Coach, this is probably the reaction you imagine that the athlete has on the other end of the line to a lot of your phone calls. They think they're not going anywhere, they're kind of pointless, and sometimes that's the case. Athletes will tell me when we're on campus surveying athletes as a part of our on-campus workshops, coaches need to get to their point. I mean, after 10 minutes, I put the phone on speaker and I'm doing other stuff. So they're not paying attention to you a lot of the time. By implementing some of these strategies and these principles, you can take them from this to very engaged one-on-one with you, and they're going to be looking forward to the next call even more, which is really what you want, because this is an ongoing conversation. This is just one step in the process. So make it good, make it something that you control, not the athlete. Put yourself in control by implementing these principles, having these components as a part of your first phone call. Next week, we're going to talk about something that is crucial that you understand, and that is the big phone call mistake that I see happening over and over and over again, and it's killing your recruiting chances with a lot of athletes. That's next week. We'll talk to you then. You are watching Selling for Coaches video training for premium members. We thank you, and we'll talk to you next week.